Now, you know what? Cloud computing, all these clouds,
Mhm.
like Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, all these clouds are made upon a fundamental. There is a strong fundamental, on which these four, these, all the clouds are, are made. So when you pick up any cloud, they follow some guidelines, they follow some concepts. Those concepts are actually coming from cloud computing. Cloud computing is actually a concept, and all these other products. So your Azure, AWS, all these other products which are built on top of cloud computing concepts. Okay. Cloud computing concepts are categorized into four major, you know, blocks. I mean, these are the four pillars: compute, storage, networking, and security. Okay. So what happens that, let's say you have a compute. So when you have compute, what happens, compute means that, let's say that you are running a server. Okay. So RAM is being used and processor is being used. Okay, which means you're running the application on the RAM, and processor is doing some brainy work. Okay, it is actually giving some calculations, manipulations. So that is being done. So there are some compute services like in AWS, we have EC2 Lambda. All these are the compute services where RAM and processor unit is consumed. Okay, which does some application kind of a work. So compute is actually a concept in which we discuss all about running the applications, taking the decisions. All these are done under compute. So compute is the concept. If you study the compute concept, then you will find out that it is all about that how basically computer takes the action, how cloud computing takes the action, how application runs on it. And there are few services which are listed over here, which we are going to study in coming future sessions. EC2, Lambda, all these other services of AWS, which helps to basically work on the compute requirements. Let's say that you have a requirement to basically create a server. So you will choose EC2. Okay, if you have a requirement to run your code, you will choose Lambda. So what you are actually doing, you're at the end of the day, you're running the application. So that is why we need compute. Coming to storage, storage is like as name suggests, it stores the data. It stores the data. So it can store the data in multiple different services. So in AWS, we have S3, DynamoDB, RDS. All these are the three different services which helps to store the data. So we are going to have a dedicated session on each and every service. So we basically store the data inside these services. Now, networking. Now, it is very important that in the network, I mean, in all these devices which we create, whether we create a server, whether we use any service, all these devices should connect, all these services should connect to each other. And that happens with the help of networking. And
Networking.
after
Okay.
that, we have a security. Now, you have the data, you have the network, you have a compute. Okay.
Mhm.
Your data is like your money. In the computer world, in the IT world, data is the money. Okay.
Okay.
If you lose the data, it means you lose the money, right? So you have to be very stringent about it, that you save your money, try to protect that money, I mean protect the data. And how can you protect the data? By securing it. Okay, by securing it. So securing has, there are multiple ways to secure your data. One way is to make sure that you are encrypting your data. You put some encryption so that no one can understand that data. Okay, that is security. That comes under security. So these are the four main pillars of cloud computing: compute, storage, networking, and security. All the different cloud providers like Amazon, I mean AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, all these clouds have to abide by these four pillars. It
Okay.
is not possible that for any cloud provider to ignore storage. That is not possible.
Okay.
No one can ignore security. No one can ignore networking. No one can ignore compute. All these are
Okay.
the four pillars which are important to be there in cloud computing. Okay, so like we discussed about the different advantages. Okay, we discussed about that. Like we have a cost benefit. Okay, we
Mhm.
have a, what was the second and third benefit? Can anyone tell me? Apart from those three benefits, we have multiple other benefits of using cloud computing. Okay,
Mhm.
So that is why cloud is getting popular, because of its benefits. Now actually has a lot of benefits, and that is why it is getting more popular. So
Mhm.
you can take the backup of your data and you can restore your data. Okay. So let's say when you want to take the backup, you can take the backup and restore it. Improved collaboration. Improved collaboration means, let's say that you have uh in like you are working with the team. There are multiple people who are working in the team. So you can easily have the collaboration between your team members. Okay. And coming to first point again, so taking the backup and restoring the data means, let's say that you are storing a data over here in AWS or in any cloud. It takes the backup automatically. Okay. And it also provides you point in time restore. Point in time restore means that as soon as your data goes down, I mean your server goes down, immediately server is created and the data is restored at the same time. So that is
Okay.
the point in time restore, which is the capability which cloud provides you. Okay.
Okay.
Now there is an improved collaboration. Improved collaboration means when you're let's say there are 15 team members who are working on the cloud, they are having a very good collaboration among each other.
Okay.
Okay. Easy accessibility. When we say easy accessibility, yeah. So in easy accessibility means, if you are working out of Africa, or you're working out of India, or you are working out of Greenland, like anywhere in the world, if you have the internet, you can work on cloud.
Yeah.
That has give us another wings to
Yeah.
basically add like access the cloud and work from anywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Nowadays
Mhm.
people are working from home, they are working from hills, they are working from mountains, they are working from beaches. How
Yeah.
are they able to do it? They are able to do it because of the cloud computing, that it is all the cloud computing resources are available on
Mhm.
internet. So you can,
Yeah.
if you have the good internet facility, you are in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all these services, let's say if we talk about AWS, all these services are available on your mobile application as well. So you can simply download one mobile application and can use it.
Yeah.
It has low maintenance cost. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it has as compared to, yeah, as compared to other thing, it has a low maintenance cost, and you pay per use model. You follow a pay per use model, which means
Oh,
you
yeah.
pay when you use it.
When
Okay.
you use it. Yeah.
Let's say that you're using server for only for 1 hour. Okay. So you will
Mhm.
pay only for 1 hour. Okay. So if you basically use server for 2 hours, then you will pay for 2 hours.
2 hours.
The use
Okay.
model means that how much you will utilize, you will pay. It's like an electricity bill. So
Okay.
for entire month, if you're basically utilizing only 50 units, so you will
Mhm.
pay for 50 units. You will not pay for more than that, right?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
basically works like electricity bill. By the
Yeah.
end of the month, your bill is calculated and then you have to pay the amount. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, disadvantages of cloud computing. So when we say disadvantages of cloud computing, so the disadvantages are that, if there are advantages, there are disadvantages as well.
Yeah.
Internet connectivity is the advantage and internet connectivity is the disadvantage. Now, let's say if your area is hit by a storm or any natural calamity, then
Mhm.
what will happen? Your internet will be broken up and then you will not be able to access your
Yeah.
resources.
Mhm.
Okay. Vendor lock-in. Vendor lock-in is a biggest problem. You are dependent on AWS. If
Yeah.
something goes wrong in AWS, your application will be affected. So you are logged on your vendor.
Yeah.
Okay. Limited control. Limited control means you don't have the full access to the infrastructure. See, you cannot go to data center and access your servers. You cannot touch your server. You can just simply remotely access those servers and use it. You cannot walk into the data center. That's not possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Security. Security means that you're keeping your data on AWS. You are
Mhm.
keeping your client's data on AWS.
Mhm.
Now, what if AWS leaks your data? It means you are prone to risk.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is why you have to, these are the some of the disadvantages, but disadvantages are very less as compared to advantages. So that is why cloud became so popular. Make sense?
Yeah.
Great. Now, why are we learning AWS? Why all of us are learning AWS? The reason is that AWS has 47.8% of market share. Out of 100%, it contains a major portion of it. Whereas other competitors, Azure is on 15.5, Google is on 7.7%, and IBM is on 1.8%. So AWS is the most popular cloud and most demanded cloud, and it has all the services which are required for any organization to grow. So that is why AWS is the preferred choice for many organization, and that is why you can see that 47.8% of the market has adopted AWS.
Mhm.
Make sense, everyone?
Thank you for watching. Switch from non-IT to IT today. Explore www.thinkcloudly.com.